From Bergstrom Court on the campus of Minnehaha Academy, we proudly present another edition of high school girls basketball. Tonight, 2 top 10 teams in their respective classes and 2 teams expected to contend in this year's state tournament bracket. The 9-1 Minnehaha Academy Redhawks will take on the 8-3 Maranatha Christian Academy Mustangs. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Beaton, joined by Alex Nagel. And Alex, Maranatha, as you've seen, likes to push the ball, so expect a lot of possessions in this game. And if there's any team that could hang with that style of play, it's Minnehaha.
Yeah, I tell you, Mike, this is a game that I have been anticipating when you gave me the call here earlier today. Well,
it's not very long.
Well, no, I know, but here's the thing. You look at the rosters of both of these teams. Both of these squads have a very intriguing mix of youth and experience. So I want to see how this all plays out, and you have some very intriguing matchups as well on this game.
We'll start with the experience, because the 2 experienced folks on these 2 teams are very talented at what they do. In fact, you're going to see the top 2 players in assists tonight. Number 1 being Alaina Jarnot, number 2 at Sarah Kaminski. Long story short, those 2 girls have great court vision.
Well, and not only that, Mike, they both have experience on the big stage. Both played in the state tournament last year. Of course, Maranatha Christian got to the state title game. And, you know, listening to Chris Berman here earlier this evening, the thing about Alaina Jarnot is that he feels that she is a better coach on the floor than a player. I mean, she can do both roles very well, but she is really the general out there on the floor for Maranatha Christian.
Jarnot headed to Monmouth University next year, and opposite her, Sarah Kaminski headed to George Mason. Recently passed the 500 career assist mark, and that is a stat that Josh Thorough is gleeful about.
Well, I tell you talk about somebody like Sarah Kaminski, who came off that ACL injury a year ago. You know, she's really taken her game to the next level, and, you know, the fact that she already has a scholarship now, you know, that pressure is off of her, so now she can focus on playing. And, you know, she does the assist thing very well, obviously, but she can score as well. And like you said, Mike, she sees the floor so well and gets the rest of her team involved out there.
That being said, those 2 are the lone senior leaders of their respective teams, but the youth behind them also has a lot of game reps under their belts. Maranatha bringing back a lot of their players from last year's second-place team in Class A, and Minnehaha has a lot of 8th graders who are 1 year older, 1 year wiser, and 1 year better.
Well, the thing about Maranatha Christian, those young players got extra practice time during the state tournament last year, and that really has helped. And I think this young group is slowly coming together, and Chris Berman feels that way, and they're gradually stepping into their roles. They've had to kind of create some roles for them. It wasn't easy at first, but they've gradually been able to get them into roles, and they're really progressing right along.
And Minnehaha doing exactly the same with folks like Avery New and Mia Curtis. A lot of fun awaits us tonight at Bergstrom Court. The starting lineups are coming up in a moment. This is high school girls basketball. And as we return to Bergstrom Court, let's take a look at the starting 5 for the visiting Maranatha Christian Academy Mustangs. Jacqueline Jarnot, the 6-foot sophomore forward, on the floor alongside Kylie Post, the 5'9 sophomore guard. Elise Moore, the 5'10 junior forward. Number 12, Alaina Jarnot, the 5'7 senior guard, and number 15, Semi Payne, the 6-foot junior forward. Post and Moore, 10 and 11 respectively. Minnehaha Academy, Tatum Rhodes, number 0, 5'8 freshman guard. Number 23, her sister, Tara Rhodes, the 5'6 sophomore guard. Number 24, Sarah Kaminski, the 5'9 senior guard. Number 35, Nevaeh Galloway, the 6'1 freshman forward. And number 55, Avery New, the 5'11 freshman forward. And we mentioned the youth and experience on this team. Rhodes, New, and Galloway were all members of the varsity team a year ago and all got significant minutes. And in Maranatha's case, a few new faces. Elise Moore transferred from St. Louis Park, and the Jarnots have become the focal point of this team. In fact, Alaina had 28 and Jacqueline had 24 in Maranatha's runaway win over Monaga on Saturday.
You know, I think in a lot of ways, Jacqueline, the sophomore, gets overshadowed by her older sister, Alaina. But I think Alaina is going to be a player to keep your eyes on here this year, Mike, as she can do a lot of big things. Very long, athletic, 6 foot, can move up and down the floor and play defense as well.
It's intriguing that you mentioned Alaina overshadowing Jacqueline, because I spoke with Chris Bierman on Friday, and he said Jacqueline won't be a secret for much longer if she isn't already.
You know, in reading the notes that you provided here earlier today, Mike, Chris Berman said that the theme for this year's team is all in. And I think a lot of that comes from, you know, the disappointment, obviously, of losing the state championship game last year to Ada Borup. You know, they felt that maybe coming out of that game, maybe they really weren't the best team. Maybe they needed to grow a little and develop a little bit more. But I think they're definitely on the right track, and this is going to be a team that is certainly going to be tough to beat once sections roll around.
And as you note that, while it was disappointing to fall to Ada Borup, and that was a weakness of Maranatha a year ago, if teams got big runs on them early, they had a tough time catching up. Bierman said for what he wants to do, he actually liked the progress this team made. Getting a second-place finish was above where he thought this team would be. And the offense is still there. It's still going to be a high-tempo, blistering pace, but what he really wants to instill this year is a stronger physical defense, and he couldn't do that last year as Minnehaha wins the tip. This could be a jumbled-up night here with 2 schools starting with M's and a lot of vowels between them. Except Maranatha only had the budget to buy an A. Minnehaha's budget a little more. They get the steal from Sammy Payne. Used up the dribble and loses it to Tara Rhodes. She's looking for a transition bucket, and she'll shoot free throws instead. Tara Rhodes averaging 9.2 points per game, 3.1 rebounds.
And 1 foul already on Alaina Jarnot.
3 steals and 3 assists as well. And Tara Rhodes gets our first basket of the game. Tara Rhodes also plays on the cross-country team, and in the words of Josh Thurrow, when she gets on a scoring run, the Redhawks are tough to beat.
Yes.
She splits there, but an offensive rebound. Here's Tara again. She pulls up, and that's strong. Rebound, Avery New. She goes up and is blocked by Payne. Payne is 10th in the state in that category, averaging just over 2 a game. Jarnot misses the long-range deuce, but Payne raced in for the offensive rebound. If you're wondering how to pronounce the names of the Jarnot sisters, there is no consensus. As Kaminski looking for the outlet. Oh, that would have been a beauty had it gone in, but Minnehaha with another O board. Kaminski thought about the 3, but post was there to close in. Now New with a turnaround, Payne with another block. That's her second already. And Maranatha can't get the outlet pass hooked up, so a sluggish start here for both teams.
Well, I tell you, Mike, that was such a beautiful pass by Tara Rhodes down here on that last possession.
Kaminski kicks out. Rhodes for 3. She misses. Nevaeh Galloway with the rebound. Galloway and New are 2 players who moved up to the starting spot after the graduation of last year's seniors, as Minnehaha turns it over. Some of those alumni are here tonight, including Lily Tomey and Gracia Gilreath. And this school has produced a long line of them. Rachel Hansen, if you go back a few years, part of that state tournament team. Caitlin Adams finishing her career at Liberty. And there's Nevaeh Galloway with the block, rejecting Kylie Post.
Both of those, New and Galloway, are freshmen.
They don't play like it.
No, they sure don't.
And Galloway going to the line after she draws the foul. And who's it going to be on? Jacqueline Jarnot.
The one advantage that I think Maranatha does have in this contest tonight, Mike, is size and rebounding. Don't be surprised if they get a sizable edge on the glass.
Galloway, considered the best basket protector by Josh Thurrow, and noted that like volleyball as well, he noticed a huge evolution in her game. In volleyball, she jumped from the C squad to the varsity, and she's translated that to the basketball court, but she misses both free throws here. And she went from the 9th player in last year's rotation to a bona fide starter. Jacqueline to Sammy Payne for 3. Bullseye! Sammy Payne, the junior, also plays volleyball and softball. Minnehaha with the answer. But Tatum Rhodes can't put it in. Elise Moore with the rebound. Alaina loses the handle. It was deflected by Tatum Rhodes.
Well, one thing about the Mustangs, Mike, they don't waste any time getting down the court.
Last year when I spoke with Chris Bierman, as Sammy Payne gets the inbound play in. Each possession runs about 9 to 15 seconds. And Maranatha's off to a 5-1 start. Kaminski. Whoa, nice entry feed. Oh no, Tatum Rhodes had a good look.
Well, Minnehaha.
Bierman's going to call a timeout as Alaina Jarnot
Well, the Redhawks might
lost the dribble.
Getting all sorts of opportunities here early, especially down low, and they're not able to convert.
Minnehaha's lone loss this season, if you're curious, was to Albany. Outside of that, it's been all W's.
On the other side, Maranatha with 3 losses pinned on them this year. But Chris Bridman felt that those losses came at a good time for this team.
Those losses came to Holy Angels, a team they don't have to worry about in state, Mountain Iron Buell, and Lyle Austin Pacelli. Holy Angels, he said they beat him up when the team was trying to find their identity. Again, they were shifting from the finesse style that Lexi Lee was known for.
Right.
And the losses to Lyle and Mountain Iron Buell helped this team decide how to change the offense with the graduation losses from a year ago. In fact, in the Lyle Austin Pacelli game, he didn't have to say much at halftime. We'll talk more about that as the game goes on, but these kids are very good at motivating themselves. Galloway with the rejection. We're having quite the battle between post players here.
Well, it sure is.
Galloway and Sammy Payne are racking up block numbers in a hurry. Maranatha with the possession arrow. Inbound pass is deflected and stolen by Galloway.
Using those long arms.
Galloway lengthy. If you're wondering, here's Avery New with the turnaround. She posts up on Moore for the deuce. And that is Minnehaha's first field goal. Jarnot for 3. No. And the rebound by Tatum Rhodes. She's bumped by Moore, but officials let it go. Kaminski used the dribble, draws the foul before the shot, and I believe it's on post. No, it's on Payne. That's her first anyway. Well, they do call it a shooting foul, so Kaminski to the line for 2. And Minnehaha struggling early.
Yeah.
Kaminski also takes part in softball and volleyball. Pretty much leads the Redhawks in every statistical category. And very good at getting her teammates in the right spot.
Seems like she does just about everything. And not just in her own main sport either.
Well, she almost gets a steal there. And that's been a mantra for Minnehaha. Josh Thorough and just about everybody else encourages their students to take part in multiple sports. They don't believe in specialization. And so a lot of these kids, even though basketball may be their primary sport, they do engage in other athletics.
Nice rebound by Payne on that one.
That gets the Mustangs another possession. It's 5-4 Maranatha. Jarnot, no. Elise Moore can't get the cleanup. She left it soft. And Kaminski hangs onto the dribble, but then gives it up on a double team. But she does find an outlet. Now Maranatha looking at a transition chance from Minnehaha, but they get back in time to disrupt it.
Nice play by Jacqueline Jarnot. Looked like Galloway had the easy inside basket, but Jacqueline Jarnot knocked it away.
Kaminski finds a wide open New, and she airballs it. Kaminski can't hit the reverse. Tara Rhodes with the O board, kicks out, and Moore with the deflection. Jacqueline Jarnot with the steal. Alaina on the run, and she comes up short. Galloway to New. Bounces over to Rhodes.
My
and
goodness.
Jacqueline Jarnot blocks it. Sammy Payne. Good idea, but came up strong there. Minnehaha with another transition chance, and Avery New finally puts it in.
Well, Sammy Payne back there on the other end, Mike, was kind of caught in no man's land, and I think she had a little indecision on her part because she was standing on one leg when she unloaded that shot.
Post. Bullseye. The southpaw hits the triple. And Maranatha retakes the lead. Kaminski, spin move. Weaving through traffic. Skip to New, and that's a traveling violation.
She had an opening there, Mike, and I think she may have gotten just a bit excited and took that extra step.
Our first subs coming in the game for both teams, Jasmine Thompson for the Mustangs, and number 34, Keshana Barth Lofton, one of Minnehaha's new additions this year. Pass deflected, but recovered by Thompson. That one isn't. Tara Rhodes with the steal, goes to her sister, and that's going to be a foul on Post. The foul is the first on Kylie Post, and Sammy Payne will go out.
And that's 14 fouls already on the Mustangs. Dangerous pass there.
Tatum Rhodes weaves through the hole and comes up empty. There's Alaina Jarnot. She loses the dribble. For a moment anyway. Jacqueline from the corner. Rims out. Galloway with the rebound. Sarah Kaminski crossed 1,000 career points last year, coming off the ACL tear. And as she fires the mid-range J and sinks it, Josh Durow noted that Kaminski looks a lot more comfortable out there, especially with the Division I scholarship secured.
Absolutely.
You know, there was
that pressure is off now, Mike, and she's got that. Nice inside move by Jacqueline Jarnot there.
She goes up and under for the score. And to finish up on Kaminski, there was some concern coming off the ACL tear on how colleges would approach her. And George Mason's going to get a solid recruit to their stable next year.
No question about it.
Barth Lofton. She comes up strong. Jasmine Thompson with the rebound there. Moore, long two, is no good. Kylie Post on the follow through, and she comes up strong. Kaminski, outlet two. Oh, the Rhodes sisters weren't ready for it. At least Tara wasn't. And Kaminski gets in there for the stop. So no steal, but she does stop a fast break chance for the Mustangs.
Well, turnovers galore on both sides here in this first half, Mike.
11:06 and 9-8 is our score. And these are two strong defensive teams. Maranatha with several players highlighted for that mark. Kylie Post is 6th in the state in steals. Sammy Payne hesitates, does fire, but comes up strong. Rebound, and another try. Jarnot had an opening. She'll go to her sister instead, and that's strong as well. The new player in for the Mustangs is Sophia Montgomery, number 30 for Maranatha Christian Academy. And I've got a fun story to share about that when we have a moment. Sarah Kaminski not wasting any time, driving to the rim. It's 10-9, Red Hawks over Mustangs. Jarnot banks it in.
And I thought she was a little off balance when she took that shot.
As long as it goes in, those count as points.
And I thought maybe at first she was going to drive, and the last time you remember she thought about it and then decided to take it into the paint.
She's been practicing on her field goals. Galloway, baseline J, is strong. Barth Lofton came up too soft on the second attempt. Thompson with the rebound. Jarnot, always shifty. Payne spots up. That's no good. Thompson, O-board. Throws up what looked like a wild shot. Payne just floats it in.
Well, Maranatha Christian getting some offensive rebounds here, much to the chagrin of Josh Thorough here, and a 14-10 lead here with 9:55 left in this first half, Mike.
And Thorough calls timeout. Now Payne played behind her sister, who now at MSU Moorhead. And Bierman noted a lot of folks wanted Sammy to be the next Michaela Payne, but Sammy's being comfortable with herself, and that's really what you should be going for as an athlete.
Well, absolutely. You know, when you play in the shadow of an older sibling, it's always tough to crawl out from under that shadow. But I think she's doing a pretty good job of doing just that, Mike, and you have to somehow try and forge your own identity, and I think she's definitely on the way to doing just that.
And Payne is one of the rare players who could play any position from shooting guard to power forward, lead the team in blocks, and be a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
Now, we know of the era of the stretch four, which has dominated basketball, where post players have a shooting touch, but that's not always common in the high school ranks.
No.
And to finish up on Sophia Montgomery, she and Ella Berg, many years ago, they were on traveling teams, and I covered the Lynx, as you know. They saw me with my credential and asked for my autograph. Now, members of the press are allowed to give autographs. We can't ask them from the players. And so for a couple of years, not knowing who they were, I signed their programs. And it became a running joke, so their parents know who I am. And every time I'm at Maranatha, I sign their boards. Each player has their own board there. Sammy Payne gets the steal. Oh, that pass was almost intercepted. Jarnot does recover, but can't come up with it. Barth Lofton, she's got an open lane if she can control it. And that rims out. Scrappy is an understatement to describe this game. Barth Lofton with a second try and floats it in. Barth Lofton averaging 5.6 off the bench. Montgomery, long two. That's strong. Both teams on the front end of a back-to-back, by the way. Minnehaha will play Como Park tomorrow as Tara Rhodes gets the bank for her first field goal. Maranatha will continue their road trip to Southwest Christian. This is the second of 4 straight road games for the Mustangs. Thompson for three. Yes! Jazrin Thompson.
Well, for those of you who like up-tempo basketball, we've got a treat for you tonight.
Jazrin Thompson, Bierman says they can count on her three-point shooting just like they could with Lexi Lee for all those years. Maya Curtis travels.
Yep. A little indecision there, Mike, when she got into the lane. She thought about shooting at first, then decided, no, I've got Galloway out there in the open corner. I'm going to try to get it to her, and as a result, she took the extra step.
8:28 left and a close game as we expected. Now here's something quite unusual. The rankings will just prove just how wild and unpredictable they can be and sometimes unreliable. Sammy Payne for three. That rattles out. Minnehaha is ranked number 8 in the polls in 2A, but they're far and away the highest rated team in the QRF. Maranatha, on the other hand, is ranked 3rd in the state, but their QRF has them behind Minneapolis North in their section in Class 4, Section 4, Class A. And if you were to look at these two teams, I don't think anyone would rank Maranatha that low.
No, certainly not me.
They're behind Goodhue and Lyle, of course, beat them, but Maranatha, I don't know who comes up with these rankings and QRF, but
I'm guessing I'm guessing head coach Chris Berman doesn't pay too much attention to those rankings.
So same with Josh Thorough, because as far as I'm concerned, they need to get their mathematics examined. If there's any math experts out there who can sort out all of this mumbo jumbo, please let us know.
Yes.
7:48 left in the first half. Jarnot, quick release. She's having trouble hitting the threes tonight. Almost lost it and stepped on the baseline. Came too close. Sarah Kaminski, a floor coach in her own right. Nice touch. Oh, Barth Lofton faked the three. She'll go for two instead, and low trajectory and a foul on Minnehaha. Believe it or not, that's their first.
I think that's going to go on New. And it is. No.
No, Barth Lofton.
No, Barth Lofton, okay.
Wrong again, Alex. It's okay, I've been wrong many times in my life. Post. Driving through the hole. Too high off the window. Curtis. With the shovel to New. Wasn't ready for it. But Barth Lofton will take the three and tie it up.
Nice shot by Barth Lofton there.
Jarnot. Kickball. It will stay with the Mustangs. So to finish up on the pronunciation puzzlement as Jacqueline Jarnot returns to the floor, there's Jarnot, Jarnot, and Jarnot, and not even their parents are clear on what the correct pronunciation is. Sammy Payne missing the triple. Post, that was close. She could have picked up her second foul there, but does not. Kaminski working off the screen from New. Trying to bounce it. Didn't work, so they'll reset. Kaminski trying to pump fake.
Wow.
And she gets the bank.
I tell you what, a tough one-handed shot that was by Sarah Kaminski.
The best players figure out how to make the tough shots fall. Jacqueline goes up, and Minnehaha doing a solid job denying looks in the paint. That will not be a kickball, but Minnehaha will keep it off the deflection.
For Kylie Post there.
Minnehaha as a whole exceeding the expectations that Josh Thurrow had, and he said he can't be much happier than a 9-1 start through 10 games. And with youth, he's, as Avery New gets the turnaround to fall. You don't always get the consistency that the youth have provided this season for the Redhawks.
Well, and Josh Thurrow said his goal, from day one is for this team to be playing their best basketball come March for the state tournament.
And Barth Lofton with the block on Payne.
And don't be surprised if they're there again.
They've been there for the last 2 years in a row, and it seems like they're in there every year. One year they didn't get in. They had to deal with Chase Coley and Washburn back when Washburn was a 2A school.
Yep.
Barth Lofton picking up her fourth block of the game. Payne is really having a tough time.
A little slow to get up too, but she's okay.
This was a team that reached the semifinal round a year ago in the 2A bracket, and if you're wondering why or how the A and AA brackets became ranked, you have Josh Thurrow to thank for that. Josh Thurrow, and I imagine a few other coaches were supportive of this as well. Entry pass was deflected. Maranatha does recover, but it's getting a little sloppy out there. Jarnot with the cross court to post. Kicks out Payne. That's a traveling violation, and those miscues early on cost them.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, we had some
timeout Maranatha.
Yeah, I think you can credit a lot of the disruptions on offense for Maranatha right now to the great defense and link that Minnehaha has.
So, this gives me a chance to finish up on the impact that Josh Thurrow has had, and he thought, well, if 3A and 4A can be seeded, as we know it's 1 through 5. I still don't understand that, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
Said, why not 1A and 2A? Because before that it was just round robin, and now you have a more, I'd say, accurate or reflective bracket in terms of top seeds and whatnot. And Josh Thurrow, the always enthusiastic head coach and athletic director at Minnehaha Academy, still does some officiating here and there. And if he's not coaching or running the school, you can always find him chatting about sports of any kind. Tara Rhodes misses, and that will be a dead ball rebound to the Mustangs.
Well, great job by Tara Rhodes here out there in the backcourt, Mike, breaking that trap and slithering through. She just couldn't finish.
Tori Kronschnabel on the floor for the Redhawks, wearing number 11. Carrying violation on Maranatha.
Mistakes now starting to pile up for the Mustangs.
You've got a feeling that whoever can get on the first scoring run may have a good chance to win this game, because neither team has really been able to pull away. And a lot of looks down low have not been going in.
Well, especially early from Minnehaha.
The same could be said for Maranatha. Tatum Rhodes finds her sister, but she stumbles. Galloway is fouled. She'll shoot 2.
Nice little move by Galloway, making a little move, then trying to put up a one-handed shot, and gets to the charity stripe as a result.
Couple of highlights for Galloway, if you're wondering. Kylie Post picks up her second personal foul. She scored 16 points in Minnehaha's most recent game and win over Blake, and matched that figure against Dover Iota, a game the Redhawks won. Dover Iota ranked number 1 at the time in 2A, the defending 2A champions, of course. And with the back-to-backs coming so early this week, Minnehaha getting 2 tough teams in Maranatha and Como Park, Josh Thurrow said the biggest issue is the lack of preparation compared to a late week scenario. And he said he really didn't think that through when he was scheduling the games for the Redhawks, but you run into that anyway at the state tournament. Jasmine Thompson gets Maranatha out of their slump. She's hit a couple threes.
Well, Thompson, the 5'8" sophomore, getting it done there.
Averages just under 4 a game. Rhodes is blocked by Payne. I believe that's her third. And Minnehaha loses it. Tara was looking for Galloway in the back door, and the back door was slammed on them.
Galloway was a little off balance there, too, trying to save that ball, and just couldn't quite get enough leverage to bring that ball back in bounds.
3 minutes, 18 seconds, 21-20. Payne, no look pass to Moore, hesitates, and that allowed time. We do have a foul on Minnehaha, though, but
I thought Kaminski might have got a piece of that ball.
I think she did, but Kronschnabel fouled down low, so Maranatha will hang on to it. Neither team in the penalty yet. Jacqueline Jarnot weaves through traffic, gets her own miss, throws it up, and she'll get to shoot free throws.
Well, right there, Mike, you see the length of Jacqueline Jarnot paying dividends right there for the Mustangs. She got the offensive rebound off her own miss, and now gets to go to the line for 2 free throws.
Jacqueline Jarnot, 10th in the state in rebounds this season, and putting up some really nice numbers, averaging 13.7 points and 10.8 rebounds, averaging a double-double, and incredibly versatile for her position.
And, you know, Mike, she's going to get stronger, too, as she gets a little older.
That was Maranatha's first trip to the free throw line. Kaminski gives the Redhawks the lead again. She's up to 9. Alaina got bumped, but no foul called. The officials really letting them play through contact. Jacqueline Jarnot, that was Kaminski batting it away. It stays with Maranatha, but Kaminski all over the place. More block from behind. I think that was Tatum Rhodes. Jarnot can't hit the fadeaway.
She's had some bad luck here in this first half, Mike. Can't get a lot of shots to drop.
It's been one of those nights. Kaminski for 3. Got it! Kaminski's feeling it now. Thompson trying against Jarnot, and she's still having trouble. Kaminski with the block from behind. Tatum Rhodes, Jarnot didn't see her. Tara goes up and she can't put it in. Maranatha catching a break there. Jacqueline will back off. Goes cross court, finds Alaina. And she's fouled by Avery News, so 2 free throws coming.
I tell you what, if you want to talk about two sisters working together exceptionally well, right there you saw a case of it. Here's Alaina Jarnot clear in the corner, going cross court to Jacqueline. That's a dangerous pass, but boy, she made it work awfully well.
Jarnot leading the state in assists, as we noted. And overall, even though we haven't seen it tonight, scoring more efficiently, in the words of Chris Bierman. As he splits there. And the nice thing about her...
Almost steal there by post.
Minnehaha does recover. Less than 2 minutes to play now. Barth Lofton can't hit the baseline J. And Jarnot with the rebound. I was going to say, Jarnot understands the terminology right away, so you don't have to say much to her. Jacqueline Jarnot drains the long deuce.
I'll tell you, the one thing about Alaina Jarnot, she changes directions so well, Mike. She's so quick in changing directions, and that makes her so incredibly tough to guard.
Timeout, Minnehaha. It's 26-25. We've got ourselves a tight contest between two top 10 teams, and to finish up on Jarnot, she's been enjoying the process of empowering the younger players to own this team. Jarnot, the lone senior on the Maranatha program, and Bierman has prepared Alaina for this position for the last couple of years. With Lexi Lee and with some of the other notable names, of course, Onya Simonem comes to mind, and Madison Lee. And Alaina headed to Monmouth, the school known for their bench routine these days, and the potential for that kid is sky high.
Oh, it really is, Mike. I mean, and she's embraced that leadership role wholeheartedly, and she really enjoys that role.
.120 left in the first half. Tatum Rhodes, or that was Tara, I should say. Post got a hand on it. Rhodes loses the dribble, but Kaminski's there for the save. Barth Lofton left alone, hits the triple.
Well, that's one of the dangers when you do a little trapping defense. Somebody can get open, Mike.
And Barth Lofton with 8 off the bench. Entry pass. Elise Moore with the recovery. We haven't talked much about her, but she's very good at clearing the lanes out. In that case, she cleared it out for herself. Kaminski. Let's see what Minnehaha decides. They're not going to hope for the final shot because, well, Tatum thought she had a baseline look open, and Jacqueline Jarnot says, Well,
they set a nice screen for her on Jacqueline Jarnot.
Montgomery will give Alaina Jarnot a break. 34.9 on the clock. Barth Lofton. That was a tough shot, and Tatum can't save it. So Minnehaha, they're up by 2. Maranatha could hold for the final shot if they wish. That would be probably the longest possession in school history. Well, they won't get a chance because Kaminski with the poke. Tatum Rhodes is all alone. Goodbye. That is her first field goal, but there's still 7 seconds, enough time for the Mustangs to get a shot off. Jacqueline Jarnot misses the 3, and that's how the first half will come to an end. Yes, it will. Minnehaha with a 31-27 lead, and the Red Hawks with the edge on defense here thanks to the do-everything talent, Sarah Kaminski.
Yeah, she's really made a difference in this game. She's not only led with defense, but she's also hit some key shots, most notably that three-pointer from the top here a little while ago.
That being said, it's been a very close contest, and both schools struggling a bit on offense, so whoever can get on the scoring run, if we have that, could have a big edge in the second half.
Absolutely.
So as the fans take part in some lightning, we will take a lightning quick break and come back to share a few more stories about these two schools. You're watching high school girls basketball. Minnehaha leads Maranatha 31-27. And we welcome you back to the Bergstrom Court at Minnehaha Academy. The Redhawks lead the Maranatha Christian Academy Mustangs 31-27 as we get ready to start half number 2. Mike Peden here with Alex Nagel. Leading scorers, Sarah Kaminski with 12 points, Keshana Barth Lofton with 8 off the bench, Avery New has 6. Those are your notables for Minnehaha. Maranatha, Sammy Payne has 7, Jasmine Thompson has 6, Jacqueline Jarnot has 6. Now, we shared a couple Minnehaha stories. In Maranatha's end, there's a good friend of mine who's among the coaching staff. Brianna Edwards joined as an assistant. In fact, Chris Bierman joked that he stole her from my team of broadcasters, and I guess if you want to improve your team, just grab one of my folks.
Well, the thing about Brianna Edwards is, she, according to Chris Bierman, she is really... It's almost like the players kind of coach. A good go-between him and his players, because Brianna has a very unique way of connecting with those players, perhaps better than Chris Bierman can.
In his words, Brianna translates his language from old guy to young player.
Yeah.
And she actually had to take some time off this weekend. She couldn't go to the game with Monaga because she was over at Wisconsin to watch her niece play. And she has quite a few nieces and nephews that she looks after, especially on the weekends. And nobody was upset that she had to leave. And Chris Bierman said, it's really easy to claim that you're all about family, but in the case of Maranatha, they were very supportive that she took a game off to be with her family. And This it was a scheduling conflict that was well before Maranatha's list of games came into place, but she is a very active, a very engaged individual, and I've called a couple of games with her, and that's just as evident in the booth. She had a great career at Minneapolis North, went to Providence, and Bierman said that her arrival kind of helped add more of a defensive touch as we get the second half underway, and also have someone who can sometimes provide alternatives. Bierman felt that there weren't enough people providing counter proposals last year. And he feels the best way to get smarter as a coach is having folks who aren't afraid to offer alternate perspectives. Scramble for the ball. It's won by Maranatha. Elise Moore puts it in.
And those are the kinds of opportunities that the Mustangs have to convert on in the second half. They have to be consistent with those good opportunities. They weren't always that way in that first half, Mike, as we saw.
Moore still learning her place on the offense, but a very physical player, and that's exactly the type of athlete that Chris Bierman wants on his teams. I'm looking forward to this second half. That's a traveling violation on Galloway, much to her dismay. Neither team pulled away. I think the largest lead for either side has been 4.
4, yeah.
It's been that kind of a contest. And Minnehaha, they get to face Andrea Adams tomorrow at Como Park. That's not going to be an easy task.
No.
Tatum Rhodes with the steal, and she ends up losing the ball. Jacqueline Jarnot picks it up. One thing's for sure, there's going to be a lot of steals at the end of this game. Payne goes around Kaminski, and Kaminski's got to have about 3-4 blocks unofficially.
Yeah. Of course, Payne with a big height advantage, too.
Alaina comes up long. Kaminski's averaging nearly 2 blocks a game, and she's 5'9". Can't hit the fadeaway. And a dead ball rebound to the Mustangs.
Well, not the start that Minnehaha Academy head coach Josh Thura was looking for in the early moments of the second half, Mike.
Post bounces over to Jacqueline and one.
Wow, what a great finish by Jacqueline Jarnot there.
And Kylie Post, as we mentioned, 6th in the state in steals. She was the new kid on a block a year ago.
Jacqueline Jarnot knew she was going to get fouled there on that one, to just put up the best as she could, and it went in. And she finishes with a 3-point play.
Bierman said the double-double she's averaging does not reflect her impact on the game, and that's a good thing.
And just like that, the Mustangs had their first lead in a while, Mike.
32-31. They've scored the first 5 points in the second half. Kaminski kicks out. Tatum pump fakes a couple times in the corner. Now the skip to Tara. Goes through the hole, and Moore got in there to stop the play. Maranatha on the fast break. It's Jarnot with the finish, Alaina Jarnot.
And right there, you see what Maranatha Christian does best, and their senior leader finishing.
You give them a look, they will push. Scramble for the ball. Minnehaha keeps it. That's inside the line. Tatum Rhodes misses, but the high carom goes to Tara Rhodes. And she's left alone. She'll drain it.
A little confusion there on the Maranatha defense there, Mike.
And Maranatha can't get the fast break pass in, so a turnover on the Mustangs.
Well, a little talk about more confusion there. Elise Moore and Kylie Post fought for that pass, and they both accidentally knocked it out of bounds.
Got to communicate, of course. That bounce pass was broken up, but Kaminski tripped. Alaina Jarnot goes up on Galloway for the score.
And now we're seeing Alaina Jarnot finishing on those opportunities.
That was 5'6" going up against 6'1". Tara Rhodes is short. That was tipped by New. Now we're seeing a little more flow to the offense.
Yep.
Jarnot. Careful. Sammy Payne didn't see Tatum. Almost lost it there. Kylie Post left alone. Hits the three. And that is Maranatha's largest lead of the game. In fact, it's the largest lead. No, they call it a 2.
And let's see how the Redhawks react on this, Mike. Foul there on Alaina Jarnot, her second, I believe.
Mia Curtis going back on the floor, but in any case, that's the largest lead of the game for either team. The foul is on Alaina Jarnot, her second. And with relatively few fouls in the first half.
Tatum Rhodes comes out for Minnehaha.
And with, I'm going to say, relatively few fouls in the first half. It's not something the coaches have to worry about just yet. Complete opposite of the game I covered on Thursday between the Minnehaha boys and the Central boys. Jump ball and the arrow favors Maranatha.
Good job by Elise Moore there.
Jasmine Thompson going in. Maranatha, as you know, high on academics and community service. But they don't want to give service to Minnehaha there. And, well, that Kaminski couldn't get the pass. Oh, my goodness, the ball's going everywhere.
But in.
And these last few seconds. Finally, Maranatha assumes control. Jarnot will spot up for 3, and it's strong. Jasmine Thompson comes up short there. She kind of leaned forward, and I think that hurt her trajectory.
I think she may have been inadvertently nudged by one of her teammates, Mike, and that forced her to put up an off-balance shot.
Sammy Payne hit with a foul, and there will be a timeout by Minnehaha.
Time for Josh Thurow now to get his squad calmed down a bit and reorganized.
That doesn't surprise me considering how erratic play had been the last couple of minutes. So to finish up the community service point on Maranatha, they do grocery bagging and recently took part in a Star Wars charity drive with Shriners Hospital. Specifically, the players volunteered as theater ushers to help excited kids and individuals watch the newest movie, The Force Awakens. Community always a big aspect for them, and every player on Maranatha's team meets the academic standards, and they're much higher than the Minnesota State High School League standards. And speaking of advocacy, Chris Bierman over the last year has really taken up the cause for his youngest daughter who suffers from focal dermal hypoplasia, the genetic skin disorder. Minnesota Prep Spotlight did a feature about that last year and how the players have rallied to support him and how he really was taken aback by that. And it's become a rallying cry for the entire team. And Bierman says he's learned a lot on how to be an advocate. He's now a chair of a family support council, and his youngest daughter, who has low vision because she wears a prosthetic eye, she now can watch games thanks to the help of a GoPro and an iPad. So they will set that up for her, and she can watch the games, and she'll give her feedback to her father.
Well, great defense there by Maranatha Christian there on that one. Almost forced the 5-second count, but got the turnover anyway.
Well, they'll take it. Doesn't matter how you get it.
The Mustangs on the verge of taking over this game here in the opening moments of this second half, Mike.
Kylie Post, she ran through a wall. Tough angle there. These are two stingy defenses going toe-to-toe. Jacqueline Jarnot with another swipe. The bounce to Post, and she draws the foul on Kaminski. Free throws coming for the sophomore.
Well, Maranatha Christian getting it done on both ends of the floor here, Mike, on defense, and getting those transition opportunities either for easy points or for free throw opportunities, as we see now.
The foul is Kaminski's second. And Kylie Post, the biggest difference between last year and this year is now hearing her name in the starting lineup. Of course, she was groomed into that role last year, getting a gradual increase in minutes. But she goes up against ball handlers very well, stays down low, and her quick hands and her timing allow her to get so many steals, as we noted, 6th in the state entering tonight. She splits there, but Maranatha with a second chance, and Jacqueline Jarnot makes the most of it.
And all of a sudden, everything going right for the Mustangs.
It's their largest lead of the game. They're up to 8, 41-33.
The Redhawks have to keep from pushing that panic button.
Curtis goes up. And that's been an issue for both sides, although Maranatha's starting to clean it up. The looks down low.
Well, Curtis, the 8th grader, taking a bold move, going inside there and just couldn't finish.
And this is Curtis's second year on varsity. She played a few minutes last year as a 7th grader. Now, we mentioned both schools on the front end of back-to-backs. In the case of Maranatha, this is they're in the middle of a 3-game stretch in 4 days, and that was by design for Chris Bierman. I'll get to that in a moment. Alaina, elbow J, can't bank it. Rebound tip goes back to Alaina. Kylie Post, that was a tough angle. I've noticed several players trying to run through the wall in the middle, and much like the rushing defense between the Seahawks and the Vikings yesterday, it's not producing much success. But Jarnot finds an opening. She can't bounce it in. Jacqueline got the rebound, but Elise Moore is too strong. Jump ball, Redhawks with the arrow.
I'm just so impressed with the rebounding efforts, especially on offense, by Maranatha Christian here in the second half, Mike. And we thought, at least I did early on, that Minnehaha would have that advantage on the glass.
Don't underestimate Maranatha's post players, Jacqueline in particular, a bit taller than Alaina, and she's not afraid to use that length. And when you have Kaminski with a fadeaway.
Well, if anybody can take over this game, Mike, it's Sarah Kaminski, and she's got to do it now with her team down. Cut to 6.
Maranatha calling timeout as Jarnot was trapped near the baseline. So Maranatha, as we said, playing in the middle of a 3 games and 4 day stretch. And that was a missing experience in last season's group. And Bierman wanted an opportunity to see how this year's team would handle it, because when you get to the state tournament, well, in that case, in Class A, it's 3 games in 3 days because of the way it's set up. In addition to that, he also limited the roster depth to 10 to emphasize versatility. They're more athletic than last year, and as we noted before, this team monitors themselves very well. In fact, after a big win over Legacy Christian, that took place on last Thursday, 80-48, Legacy Christian, one of the upper echelon teams in their section, he said the kids were correcting themselves.
Yeah.
And that was after a 32-point win. They were going over the mistakes they wanted to clean up.
Well, that just shows you, Mike, what we alluded to earlier. I mean, you know, people like Alaina Jarnot, I mean, seasoned leadership, and the other players on the team follow her lead.
And that intrinsic leadership, that's not always something you can teach. Nevaeh Galloway with the steal. Rhodes used up the dribble. Yikes.
Well, all sorts of miscommunication happening now from Minnehaha Academy on offense, Mike. They cannot seem to get in any rhythm at all whatsoever.
They get a deflection, though, and another steal. There's Kaminski. Bump by post. Officials let her play through it. Barth Lofton hesitates, fires, can't hit from 13. Jacqueline Jarnot with the rebound.
I think Barth Lofton almost thought about passing it out to the corner.
Elise Moore down low. She gets the layup. Elise Moore, by the way, is also fluent in Spanish. I had a chance to glance at the breakdown notes. Kaminski lays it in as she works her way through the hole. Kaminski with 16 points. Jacqueline Jarnot beats her coverage and comes up strong, gets her own rebound. The officials are really letting the players go play through contact here. And that's another jump ball, Maranatha with the arrow.
Well, just when we thought that Maranatha Christian had cleaned up their act with opportunities, there we see the missed opportunities. But again, they did a great job on the offensive board, getting second and third chances.
Now we noted in, well, Minnehaha's case, all of the basketball first folks. Here's Sammy Payne. She drives and is strong. It's been a tough night for her offensively. Shovel pass, almost mishandled it. Jacqueline Jarnot can't clean it up. Maranatha winning the battle of the boards.
And I tell you, that's got to be driving head coach Josh Thurl crazy, Mike.
But they can't score there. And Jacqueline Jarnot fouls Tara Rhodes, so Tara will shoot too. Tara getting more comfortable with being the second option on offense and increasing her discipline on defense. She's known for her defense, especially the diamond and one and triangle and two formations, but a lot of these kids, basketball is their first sport, even though they play others, and Josh Thurl often highlights these successive past teams, including the 2010 state championship group. And he often tells his kids, as Rhodes splits, that if they can replicate what past teams did, they can get the same opportunity for success, whether it's state tournaments or even other accolades. Gracia Gilreath, for example, getting an all-star nod last year.
Right.
And I've got a feeling Sarah Kaminski and Alaina Jarnot from Maranatha will be on this year's field of all-stars come April. April 8th, by the way, at Carleton College in Northfield. Minnehaha struggling on the fast break tonight. 9:59 left to play. And the Mustangs with a 5-point lead, 43-38. Jarnot. Alaina almost lost it, but she finds Jacqueline for the recovery. Sammy Payne down low, and she misses another one. And Elise Moore with the foul from behind.
Such quick hands by Alaina Jarnot there, Mike, coming up the ball. She almost had the ball stolen from her, but she used those quick hands to tap the ball to a teammate. That's just great court awareness.
Curtis is back on the floor, and she's tripped up by Elise Moore. That's her second foul, and that's something we'll have to watch now. Maranatha, that's their 15th foul. Yep. And how that translates.
A chance now for the Redhawks to get this down to a single possession.
Kaminski backdoor to Barth Lofton. She can't get the bounce. Barth Lofton has not scored in this half. Maranatha can't get a handle on it, so Minnehaha will get another try. Curtis weaves through more, but comes up empty. And the rebound by Jacqueline Jarnot finds Alaina. Kaminski was looking for the steal. Jarnot drains the runner.
You know, she improvises so well, Alaina Jarnot.
That's why she's headed to Monmouth. Kaminski, deep three. No good. Jarnot bounces over to Moore, and she's bumped by Barth Lofton, and they will give her the shooting motion.
Just more great court awareness by Alaina Jarnot, bringing that ball down.
Now, Elise Moore, we noted that one of the newer players coming from St. Louis Park, rings shades of Rebecca Brunson. Not always the biggest player in the post, but very physical. And on defense, you don't always see it.
Right.
She can increase the rebounds that the guards have picked up simply because she can box out 2 or 3 players.
Sophia Montgomery comes in for the Mustangs to give Jacqueline Jarnot a breather.
Elise Moore splits, another jump, Minnehaha with the arrow. But the Mustangs push their lead back to 8 with 8:51 to go. Kaminski having some trouble there as Maranatha applying a full court defensive set here. And a charge,
Wow.
Elise Moore. Well, there's the defensive physicality we talked about. That time, she puts her body on the line and draws the charge on Tatum Rhodes, I believe.
Well, Tatum Rhodes
Yes,
is
it
coming
was.
down full bore, hoping to get that blocking foul, and instead it went the other way.
Elise Moore, the 5'10 junior. Took a thud, but gets the offensive foul. Sammy Payne leaves another layup short. Their game a little off tonight. Whoa, that was a dangerous pass. And a bailout foul by New, I believe. So Elise Moore is going to shoot 2 more.
Well, I'll tell you, Alaina Jarnot had even me fooled there with her pass.
Barth Lofton picks up the foul. That's her 3rd.
And
Alaina Jarnot has that passing ability, though. Sometimes she can fool even her own teammates.
And Minnehaha now with 5 fouls as well, Mike, at the 8:29 mark.
And speaking of Elise Moore and her physicality, Bierman said the more crowded it gets down low, the better she is. And he's excited for the second half of the season because there's some sets he hasn't been able to apply yet because Elise Moore is still learning the system. But she misses both free throws, so it's an 8-point margin. Jacqueline Jarnot with the block from behind on Tara Rhodes. The skip to Payne. She finally puts one in.
And it's a 10-point lead.
Maranatha pulling away. Avery New had a look, backs off. Montgomery with the deflection. And Jarnot can't get a whoa. There's Tara Rhodes for 3, but she misses. But nobody on the weak side. And that's going to be a foul on Sophia Montgomery. That is Maranatha's last to give. Galloway's going to go back in, and Alaina Jarnot will do the same. By the way, if the name Galloway sounds familiar, Nevaeh Galloway is the granddaughter of Nate Galloway, the longtime athletic director at St. Paul Central.
Oh,
And under his tenure, the Central girls basketball team, of course, with their back-to-back state championships, the super team years. And off the inbound, Tara Rhodes getting the feed from Kaminski for the deuce. Tara Rhodes up to 8.
good job by Tara Rose there, getting open, getting the easy basket.
Jarnot, the skip was read perfectly by Kaminski, and Tara Rhodes with the steal. Rhodes to her younger sister. Oh, an entry pass that was read by Payne. She got an arm in front, And post, look out. Kaminski draws the charge, and that's going to be the third on post.
Yeah, I think that was a good call there, Mike. She used her shoulder just a little bit to create the contact.
Elise Moore going back in, so that's the third on post, and Maranatha is now out of fouls to give, so Minnehaha has a chance to work their way back from the free throw line if they can get some opportunities. Kaminski with the deep outlet finds Tara Rhodes. One-on-one for the score.
And Josh Thurl calls the timeout. The deficit now whittled down to 6 points.
7 minutes and 21 seconds left. We have talked several times about Sarah Kaminski's floor vision. And even as a freshman, Josh Thurl liked the potential in his George Mason recruits. And he said one thing you can do, no matter what age you are, is improve your court vision. And as you saw with that last play, sees it way better than the average player. In fact, the last two plays have been Kaminski to Rhodes hookups for scores.
Well, and that's what experienced seasoned leaders do. I mean, they get their teammates involved. They know things out that are going on out there on the floor. They make things happen. And that's what we saw right there.
Second in the state in assists entering tonight. If you're wondering, she's averaging 6.6 in that figure and also plays softball and volleyball. And always has the team in mind. And getting to state a year ago with a relatively young group was a big building block for Josh Thurl, and he likened it to the Gophers making the Quick Lane Bowl, where others may have scoffed that a 5-7 team got in, and whatever your opinion is, as Galloway gets the block, but Elise Moore is there in the follow-through.
Well, great job by the Elise Moore getting that offensive rebound and putting it back up.
Moore is picking up the scraps here in the second half.
Just when you thought Minnehaha might have stolen the momentum.
Well, still a lot of time left. Don't count out the Redhawks just yet. Galloway fakes the three. Goes back out to Kaminski. Kaminski, a solid three-point shooter and free throw shooter. Tatum bouncing over to Galloway. And Jarnot was there to block it.
Great offensive rebound by Tara Rhodes.
She got in with all the post players. Kaminski has enough space, gets a little bump, no foul.
Tara Rhodes again.
But she loses it to Jacqueline Jarnot this time. She'll try to hook up with Moore in the outlet. She does. Goodbye.
I tell you what, she's come up big in the second half for Maranatha Christian, Mike.
And it's a 10-point advantage for the number 3 team in Class A. And I can't wait to see these folks again. We'll be seeing them not too long from now, actually. They host Minnehaha on the 23rd of January. And another steal as the bounce pass was deflected. Alaina Jarnot, she's speedy. Beep, beep. What did you think of my Roadrunner impression?
Well, that's not bad.
A 12-point deficit for the Redhawks, and it could, well, no. I thought it was off of Minnehaha. Instead, it's off of Maranatha.
I don't know what was said during that timeout, but this little 6-0 burst by the Mustangs has really changed the complexion of this game in the last 2 minutes.
Rhodes having trouble. Throws it away.
Alaina
Jarnot. Warp speed to the basket.
Alaina Jarnot has taken over this game, Mike.
And the Mustangs up by 14. Like we said, whoever got on a scoring run first could have the edge in this one with 5:20 to go. And the Mustangs looking to go to 9-3 and get another quality win to the resume. 15-footer off the mark from Tatum Rhodes. Maranatha don't have the numbers to push, but Post sees a hole, and she'll shoot 2.
Nice little job by Post getting in, putting a little fake on, getting into the paint. Now a chance to pad that cushion.
Entering tonight, Post was just under double figures in scoring with 8.9.
Alaina Jarnot getting a well-deserved little water break there during the stoppage. She needed it. It was well-deserved.
Post also averaging 4.6 steals a game, 5.2 rebounds, and taking Jarnot out for short breaks, that's something that she's a lot better at handling. Before she wanted to play all 36 minutes, because who doesn't?
Yeah.
You want to help your team any way you can. And over the years, Bierman said Alaina Jarnot is a lot better at understanding why you take her out, so you can save her energy, her speed, just about everything for those clutch runs that you might need in later games. She gets another steal.
Goodness.
She just chased down her opponent from
my
behind.
goodness.
And,
Are you kidding me?
Well, Jacqueline wasn't ready for that pass. We know that much, and that's another example of Alaina's shifty ball movement.
Look at that.
This time Jacqueline does handle it. She'll at least get free throws out of it. The foul is on Barth Lofton. I believe that's her 4th. But this game's starting to slip away here for the Red Hawks.
That's 4 fouls on Barth Lofton, too.
And Jarnot can pad her numbers. Jacqueline, that is. The backup point guard, believe it or not.
She can do it all.
Elise Moore getting the O board. There's someone who can do it all. She lays it short, though, but...
Finally shows that she's human.
Well, even Maya Moore's human. Kaminski doubled up. Moore with the strip. Sammy Payne catches up to the ball and recovers in time for the score. I think you can chalk this one up to Maranatha now. That's a foul, but with 4:17 left, I think the Mustangs will hang on and pick up their 6th straight win of the year.
Well, I tell you, it was interesting, Mike. It was 48-42, a 6-point game here not that long ago.
And the Mustangs have scored 12 straight. But as Kaminski goes to the line, I was going to say with Minnehaha before this Maranatha run, getting to state last year gave a lot of those younger players experience because you keep practicing, you get more reps, and he likened it to what the Gophers football team did in the Quick Lane Bowl. Okay, it's not going to mask a tough season, and you might get scoffed because you're 5-7. Why do you belong here? But in his view, Josh Thurows, that is, it builds the Red Hawks for the future.
Right.
And of course, it's always great to get to state, but he really was excited for the opportunity, especially for the younger players, all those 7th and 8th graders who are now 8th and 9th graders. Kaminski makes both free throws to end Minnehaha's scoring drought. Post pulls up to avoid the charge. Jacqueline Jarnot comes up a little short there. I'll tell you. And Sammy Payne will shoot a pair. Actually 1-1, but the foul on Curtis, and that's a Maranatha signature. Even with a large lead, they're not going to hold back and run out the clock.
No.
They want to run their plays. That's actually on Tara Rhodes. And I have to give credit for that. Many teams would be content with just running out the clock and saying, good job.
Right.
But Maranatha, I think they want that state title back. Of course, they won back-to-back in 2011 and 2012.
Yep.
And they've been to state for 6 straight years. With 2 different coaches. And the defensive intensity they've applied tonight against a high-caliber team in Minnehaha has to feel very encouraging, because that was the one thing they lacked last year. And if their defense is picked up, they're going to be a very tough team to stop in the Class A state bracket.
A rarity here. Minnehaha slowing it down. Or
Maranatha.
I knew that was going to happen.
I figured we'd get confused tonight with the
2 M's.
the vowel-heavy names between the 2 schools, and Galloway picked off the entry pass. Moore threw it right to her, basically. Rhodes, I don't know if she was aware where the rim was. She threw it up and it went off, and Payne with another block. Sammy Payne may not have the offensive production that she'd like tonight, but her defense is more than compensated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She's going to like her block numbers after tonight. Curtis missing the triple. A second chance for the Redhawks. Tara Rhodes will try it. And that's going to be an over-the-back foul on Sammy Payne. So free throws coming for Tori Cronschnabel, the other senior on this team. Doesn't play a lot, but a good role player, you know, designed to get rebounds and post up. And like her older sister, Cronschnabel is looking at California and Stanford for academics.
That's not bad.
Well, at least you know she won't be playing for a Pac-12 rival, so
No.
one less person for UCLA to worry about.
Absolutely. Slowing things down like this really seems to take Maranatha out of their comfort zone.
Well, last couple of possessions have resulted in 2 turnovers, but Minnehaha cannot control it. The fast break looks here, and so they've really struggled as a result. Maranatha with the arrow. Looking back at this game, obviously the big run that Maranatha put up in the second half is going to be a defining moment.
Well, I think the defining moment, I mean, Maranatha looked like they had the edge there for a while, and then, as you said, Minnehaha cut it down to 6 points. It was still a manageable deficit, but then that 12-0 burst ended any doubt.
But the shot's not going in for Minnehaha, and all of those looks down low that came up empty, fast breaks and set plays, those are all opportunities for points that Minnehaha passed up on. They finally convert on one with Tara Rhodes.
Well, and what can you say about Alaina Jarnot?
And Alaina Jarnot, she's had enough. She's going right to the rim.
Yeah.
And she comes up short there. So Maranatha's still going to win this game, because there's just not enough time left. But, well, they're not giving up on defense. Another block for Jacqueline Jarnot. And here's Alaina bouncing over the post. Too high off the window. But as we wrap this one up, what are your impressions here of the two teams?
Well, I tell you, I've got to get out and watch this Maranatha Christian team play again. They're just so fun to watch. It's really rare for a team to run the way Maranatha Christian does. You have to have really good athletes to run that kind of an offense, Mike. You know, and as disappointing as this loss is for Minnehaha, they'll rebound. They'll be okay. They'll learn some things from this game.
Well, they have to rebound quickly because their opponent, they go on the road tomorrow to play Como Park.
Right.
And facing one of the state's top scorers in Andrea Adams. But this is what you face at the state tournament.
Yep.
Every team has at least one good player. What impresses me most with both schools, a lot of youth this year, but over the years, just how consistent these two schools have been in girls basketball, and how the success of the prior teams has fed into the younger players.
Yep.
And maybe they don't know all about Rachel Hansen and Caitlin Adams in the case of Minnehaha, and if you're at Maranatha, maybe Onyo Seminum doesn't ring a bell.
Or Josie Taggart's or somebody like that.
But they see what their elders do, and they want to replicate that.
Right.
And it's really tough to do in those smaller classes, A and AA, because you have so much turnover and so much success is sometimes dependent on who you have. Bram being an example with the Rebecca Dolman or Carly Wagner at NRHEG for a couple of years. But to get the consistency that these two schools have instilled in their programs, that's remarkable. And even though Minnehaha comes up short tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if both teams add another state tournament appearance to their resume come March. Maranatha will run out the clock. They've done enough. A fine game all around. Alaina Jarnot will finish with 14. And 4 players average double digits overall. Sarah Kaminski, the game's high score, was 17 for Minnehaha, but it's Maranatha who extends their winning streak 60-46.
Well, I tell
over
you,
the Minnehaha Academy Redhawks.
I'll tell you what, Mike, just a fabulous outing tonight for senior Alaina Jarnot.
And hopefully a few more on the way. Again, I'll be seeing this team again in a short while, and I hope you'll join me one more time before the season's out, because if everything works out, I'll be seeing them when they play De La Salle. You know that's going to be an intense
Absolutely.
contest. So
Absolutely.
we'll see if we can get a word with a few of the Maranatha players before we head out. As they improve to 9-3, Minnehaha falls to 9-2. This is high school girls basketball. Maranatha wins 60-46. And I'm joined by a trio of Maranatha players who all stepped up in different ways tonight in this victory over Minnehaha. So we'll start with the player next to me, and that's Alaina Jarnot, Jarnot, or how do you pronounce it anyway?
Jarnot.
You go by Jarnot. Well, one thing that was easy to pronounce was your defense and your transition game in the second half. You go on a big run, so how do you pull it off?
I really just got the ball, and my shot wasn't falling, so my team was doing amazing on transition. I knew that I could get them the ball, and they were just finishing well, so I could just count on them.
And how do you work through a first half where most of you were struggling, Minnehaha's defense was getting to you, and you weren't putting shots in? How do you overcome that?
Just keep playing aggressive the whole time. We can't let that get to us. We just have to keep playing hard the whole time.
Now, I spoke with your head coach over the weekend, and he highlighted your growing leadership these last couple of years and being the lone senior on this team. How have you handled that role, and how is that feeding to the rest of the players?
Really just being there for the team and playing the hardest I can, being an example on the floor, and just always encouraging them, and even when we're down, and yeah.
How quickly can you accelerate anyway?
There
were a couple of plays where it looked like you went from 0 to 60 in 3.4.
I don't know. It was kind of rough tonight. I was kind of out of breath tonight, but it was good. I don't know. I didn't think I was.
You better work on your conditioning.
I have a cold, so.
You have a cold. Okay. She has an excuse, folks. No, I'm kidding. Still, though, it's always good to get a gritty win as you did that tonight. So I guess we'll just move on down the line here. You know what? We'll do this. So we'll go to Elise Moore, or she'll just slide over. Elise, you had a rough first half, but then you got a lot of cleanup work in the second half. So how did you step up?
Just glory to God, but my coach just kept telling me, like, even if it's not falling, keep working, keep being aggressive, and the shots will come.
And how have you handled the transition? I understand you were with St. Louis Park last year, so what is it like going from that program over here?
I was actually there 2 years ago, but...
well, you're still transitioning, I presume.
That's true. But it's a lot different, and it's a different atmosphere, and it's definitely a family here, which helped the transition.
And what would you make of the camaraderie here? Because Maranatha, every year it seems like they're in state, and it's a very close-knit group.
Yeah, we've come to realize that to get to state, we have to work really hard. So this year we're just trying to work our hardest to get there again and win it.
And one thing I was told about you is that even if you're undersized in the post, you don't act like it in a way akin to Rebecca Brunson. So how do you approach that post game where you really get physical?
It's all really just a mindset. So if I can put it in my mind that I can beat the person, then I can.
All right, well, you stay here for a moment. I'm going to go to Jacqueline, or she'll come to me, or a combination of the two. This is Jacqueline Jarnot, and whoops, I'm going to stand up, otherwise I'll look really short next to this lengthy post player. And you had quite a few blocks tonight. How do you time those so well?
Just when they go for the ball, I just try not to foul first of all, and I just try to get my hands on the ball best I can, and I guess it worked tonight.
How would you say you stepped up from last year to this year?
I just became more aggressive, and I just had like a different mindset, and just I had to like step up and just be like a better leader and just the best I can every game.
What would you make of your older sister as a passer? Because there were a couple of moments where it looked like you weren't even ready to receive those no-look dishes.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to it now. Like, she could just see me. We just play really well together, so I kind of know her passes, so I know when they're coming, I can catch them.
And do you get that from being sisters and seeing each other on the court, off the court?
Yeah, I've seen her play and I know what kind of passes she can make, so I just like be ready for them, you know.
You've won 6 in a row now. Where do you think this team has progressed, and how much have they grown, since those back-to-back losses to Mountain Iron Buell and Lyle Austin Pacelli?
I just think we've been playing better together as a team. We've been flowing. We just weren't like selfish, so we just like worked together better, worked harder.
All right, before we wrap things up, Alaina, anyone you want to say hi to that will watch this?
Hi, Grandma. No, I don't have anyone.
Well, you just did. You just said hi to Grandma.
Hey, hi, Grandma. Okay.
What about you, Elise?
Hi, Grandma and Mom and everybody else.
You want to say hi to your grandma too there,
Yeah.
Jacqueline?
Sure. Hi, Grandma.
Anyone else?
No, just family, I guess.
So the Jarnot's grandmother, you're getting a lot of love here. Everyone else, you might want to have a word with these two. I tease, but well-played game and a gritty, well-earned win for this Maranatha Mustangs team. It's going to be exciting to see where this leads. So that wraps things up from here at Bergstrom Court. For all our crew, I'm Mike Beaton. Thank you for watching high school girls basketball.